He held the microphone like a weapon. His words were real, because he was burning inside. The streets were his stage. Pain was his rhythm. The world tried to silence him, but he turned his voice into a trend. Tupac, the man who turned silence into sound. Tupac Amaru Shakur was born on June 16, 1971, in East Harlem, New York. His name came from an Incan revolutionary who resisted Spanish colonizers, an omen of his own destiny. His mother, Afeni Shakur, was a member of the Black Panther Party, and his father was also a political activist. He grew up surrounded by revolutionary ideals, but also poverty and chaos. His childhood was filled with police raids, hunger, and social anger. Yet, even as a child, Tupac had a burning curiosity about art and justice. He read Shakespeare, studied acting, and wrote poetry before ever touching a microphone. His teachers saw in him an unusual combination of intellect and empathy. The world around him was cruel, but he refused to let it silence his voice. His life began in struggle, but that struggle would shape his greatness. From birth, Tupac carried both the pain and the hope of his people.
The Artist Awakens.
In Baltimore's School for the Arts, Tupac's creative spirit exploded. He studied theater, poetry, and jazz, performing with magnetic intensity. He was deeply influenced by Shakespeare's tragedies, learning how words could mirror the human condition. In Baltimore, he met Jada Pinkett, who would become one of his lifelong friends and muses. Yet, the world outside school walls was brutal. Racism, police violence, and economic despair. Tupac began blending art with activism, performance with protest. His teachers described him as a storm disguised as a poet. He could move from tenderness to fury in a heartbeat. Even as a teenager, his lyrics carried a prophetic tone. He once wrote, "I'm not saying I'll change the world, but I'll spark the brain that will." That spark would soon ignite a cultural revolution.
The Rise of a Voice.
In the early 1990s, Tupac joined Digital Underground, first as a backup dancer, then as a lyricist. His raw energy caught attention immediately. In 1991, he released his debut album, "Tupacalypse Now." It was revolutionary, angry, poetic, political. Songs like Brenda's Got a Baby and Trapped exposed the hidden wounds of urban America. Politicians condemned him, calling his lyrics dangerous. But young people across the nation found truth in his voice. Tupac became the conscience of a generation that felt forgotten. He wasn't rapping for fame. He was testifying for survival. His verses were weapons, his stage presence electric. Within a year, he was no longer a local artist. He was a national force. His words began shaping how an entire generation saw justice, poverty, and identity.
Fame and Fire.
By 1993, Tupac was one of hip-hop's brightest and most controversial stars. Fame brought both money and danger. He starred in films like Juice and Poetic Justice, proving he was as gifted an actor as a rapper. Yet his life became a battlefield of contradictions, brilliance and rage, love and violence. He was arrested multiple times, accused of assault and sexual misconduct, charges that he always claimed were politically motivated. The media painted him as a villain, but his fans saw a prophet trapped in the modern Babylon. "I'm just trying to survive in a system built to break me," he said. His songs from this era, like Keep Ya Head Up and I Get Around, revealed both tenderness and rebellion. He became a symbol of black pride and urban resistance. but his defiance made him enemies not only in the streets, but in power.
Bullets and betrayal.
In November 1994, Tupac was shot 5 times in the lobby of a New York recording studio. He survived, but something inside him changed forever. He believed the attack was a betrayal by people he once trusted, including fellow rappers. While recovering, he was convicted on a separate charge and sent to prison. Behind bars, he wrote poetry, read philosophy, and reflected on life, fame, and loyalty. The bullet wounds healed, but the emotional scars deepened. His anger turned into art, and his pain became prophecy. He began to see the rap industry as a microcosm of America, filled with greed, exploitation, and fear. It was in prison that Tupac met Suge Knight, who would later bail him out and sign him to Death Row Records. His release marked the rebirth of a man no longer naive. Tupac was now a warrior.
Death Row Days, The Storm.
Tupac's partnership with Death Row Records transformed hip-hop history. His 1996 double album, All Eyes on Me, became one of the greatest in rap history. It was a celebration and a confession, a diary of rage and freedom. Tracks like California Love and Ambitions as a Rida became anthems of dominance. But behind the success was chaos, conflict with Notorious B.I.G., East Coast-West Coast feuds, and growing paranoia. Tupac lived fast, partied hard, and felt hunted by unseen forces. His words were sharper, his tone darker. Yet, amid the turmoil, he remained poetic. Reality is wrong. Dreams are for real. He donated to charities, spoke about peace, and planned to create youth centers. But his fame had become too dangerous. The world watched as the fire that fueled him began to consume him.
The Last Night.
On September 7, 1996, in Las Vegas, Tupac attended a Mike Tyson boxing match. After an altercation in the lobby, he left the MGM Grand with his entourage. That night, a white Cadillac pulled alongside his BMW and opened fire. 4 bullets struck Tupac, 1 in the chest. He was rushed to the hospital, where he fought for 6 days. His mother, Afeni, held his hand as machines kept him alive. On September 13, 1996, Tupac Amaru Shakur was pronounced dead at the age of 25. The world froze. Millions wept, not just for the man, but for the message. His death became one of modern history's deepest cultural wounds. To this day, no one has been definitively convicted. The silence of justice became the echo of his prophecy.
Aftermath, The Legend Rises.
After his death, Tupac became more than an artist. He became a myth. Posthumous albums like The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, and Until the End of Time carried an almost spiritual tone. His lyrics seemed to predict his own death. I see death around the corner. Fans began to view him as a martyr, a symbol of truth silenced too soon. Murals of his face appeared in ghettos and universities alike. Books, documentaries, and poems kept his voice alive. Even those who never listened to hip-hop felt his impact. His music became a mirror of injustice, faith, and the fragile dream of freedom. Tupac's absence only made his message louder.
The Message Beyond Music.
Tupac's power came not just from rhythm, but from truth. He spoke of poverty, racism, domestic abuse, and the cycles of violence that trap communities. He called mothers queens and told young men to rise above their circumstances. Songs like Changes and Dear Mama became hymns of pain and resilience. He never separated his art from his activism. "I might not be perfect," he said, "but I'll tell the truth." His voice crossed borders and generations, teaching that anger can coexist with compassion. Even decades later, his words remain relevant in classrooms, protests, and political movements. Tupac made hip-hop more than music. He made it a social philosophy.
The politics of truth.
Tupac saw America as a system built on contradictions, freedom and oppression living side by side. He often compared himself to a rose growing from concrete. His interviews were electric. He spoke like a preacher and a philosopher. He challenged hypocrisy, corruption, and racism with fearless eloquence. But the more he spoke truth, the more he was silenced. The FBI reportedly monitored his activities, fearing his influence. Yet he remained defiant. "They can kill me, but they can't kill what I stand for." His political consciousness was radical, yet human. He dreamed of forming a new party for young Black Americans, one built on unity, not revenge. His philosophy outlived his body.
Spirit of the streets.
Even today, Tupac's presence is everywhere, from murals in Los Angeles to protests in Johannesburg. He became the face of resistance, rebellion, and raw honesty. His poetry book, The Rose That Grew from Concrete, is studied in schools. Artists across genres, from Eminem to Kendrick Lamar, cite him as inspiration. He embodied contradictions, saint and sinner, warrior and poet. The streets remember him not as a rapper, but as a brother who spoke their truth. Every tattoo, every lyric carried a message of survival. Tupac didn't just reflect his generation, he created its conscience. He showed the world that even pain could become art.
Immortal voice.
Tupac Shakur remains one of the most influential figures in modern culture. His music continues to chart, decades after his death. He redefined hip-hop as poetry, activism, and prophecy. Scholars analyze his lyrics like modern scripture. His life proved that art can both heal and hurt. He taught that greatness often comes with sacrifice. "If I die tonight," he once wrote, "I've lived to make the world see me." He did more than that. He made the world feel him. Tupac was not just a man of his time. He was a mirror of humanity's contradictions. His voice still echoes through speakers and souls alike. Because legends never die, they transform.
Thank you for staying with us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and leave a comment.